Okay, my D block class. I'm going to do this in two separate screencasts. The first one, I'm going to be talking about something called polyatomic ions. And the first thing I should tell you is that you all understand the concept of an ion. It's a charged atom, so it's either gained or lost an electron. And what we've studied so far are something called monatomic ions. And mono, or mon in this case, means one or single. And this is exactly what they are. They're single ions by themselves. So, for example, sodium ion is a monatomic ion, and the chloride ion is also a monatomic ion. And we can have other ones as well, right? So we have a whole bunch of these different ions, and we're most familiar with these things. These are called, again, monatomic ions because they're single ions by themselves. Okay, so that shifts us then to another concept called polyatomic ions. And obviously the prefix poly means many. And in fact, it's going to be many atoms that make up these ions. So let me actually going to cut this and let's see, put it over here. Give me a little bit more room here. And there are a whole bunch of polyatomic ions that you're simply going to have to memorize. There's no way around it because we're going to be using these polyatomic ions so much over the course of the year that if you don't commit them to memory, it's much like not committing your times tables to memory. It just becomes a huge pain when you need to work with them and you don't know them off the top of your head. And in terms of knowing them, you need to know both their names as well as their charge and what their formula is. So let's start off first with the only cation ion. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Let's do the only cation ion that you need to know. In other words, the only polyatomic cation that you need to know. And that is ammonium, or NH4, with a +1 charge. Ammonium, I-U-M is what that says there. And then we have a whole bunch of anions. Okay, and in fact we have 7 of these anions that you need to know. I would suggest that you simply start creating a set of flashcards, and on the cards you would have probably the best thing would be to put the name of it, and then on the back side it would be the charge and the chemical formula for that particular polyatomic ion. So let's start with the ones that are the -1 polyatomic ions. We have hydroxide. And then we have nitrate. And then we have bicarbonate. And the last one of the -1s is acetate. And again, you're going to have to remember those subscripts as well as the atoms associated with these things. Okay, so those are the 4 -1. And then we have a couple of -2 polyatomic ions. We have carbonate. And sulfate. That's an S. Oh boy, that's a mess too. Hold on, let me restart that again. Notice how these all end in, a lot of them I should say, ATE, right? Except for hydroxide. ATE is going to be a good hint to know that it's going to be a polyatomic ion. And then lastly we have the only 3- or -3 charge, one that you're going to need to know, and that is phosphate. PO4 3-. Now, the thing that's kind of cool about this, maybe you won't think so, but certainly I do, is that these become really important. Each one of these polyatomic ions become vitally important in your study of biology next year. So memorizing these things is going to be a good idea for you because we use them so much in biology. Okay, so that's it. There's my quick 5-minute screencast. Like I said, I would recommend that you make flashcards for these things, and then you'll be sure to sort of work on these every day to make sure you understand them. See ya.